Well, welcome. We have one of the rare people on tonight who is actually running for a town position. It's been really sad in the last couple of years when you get less than 10% of the people voting. And like last year, we had no contested races at all. This year, we have one for the Board of Health. And we'll start tonight with an introduction.
Hi Al, my name's Vecchiola, born and raised in Milford. I'm excited to declare my candidacy for the position on the Board of Health, drawing upon my over 25 years experience in the restaurant, grocery, and assisted living facility sectors through my competitive involvement in various committees, boards, and town meeting. I have cultivated a strong commitment to upholding stringent health standards and compliance guidelines, ultimately enhancing the well-being and prosperity of all Milford residents. I respectfully request your vote on April 7th. Thank you.
First question I always ask. I'm from Milford. Why should I vote for you?
I'm born and raised, and I will look out for the Milford residents. Everybody that's here I will look out for. Because you have to be proactive with everybody. You can't just be proactive with some. Everybody deserves to be proactive too.
Well, my hat's tipped to you for running. Like I say, I'm disappointed in the turnout of less than 10% of voters. And this year, again, except for this race, nobody's running for any seat
No.
that's contested. What do you see as the mission for the Board of Health?
The mission combined overcrowding for one. But I believe a lot of that is now, the cost of living went up, so a lot of the overcrowding now, I believe everybody's moving into each other, together to solve their rent issues. But it's hard, because you gotta go by the bylaws, and we have bylaws, and all those people living together, you can get diseases. You can get rodents coming with overflow of trash, and it makes the neighborhoods not look that good.
Now, years ago, we ran into the issue of overcrowding.
Yep, I remember.
And the town set aside money for inspections. Did that work?
And back then, yes. But I think we've got away from that a little bit through the years, and maybe it's time to get the task force going again more. Inspecting a lot of these areas. People should call too. If you see something, call. But I don't know if everybody wants to call and be bothered with that. But if you see overthrow of trash and stuff, call. If there's too many people you think living in an apartment, let the town go investigate it.
Well, at the last town meeting, we voted to allocate money to bring in an outside inspection service. What did you think of that?
I remember, I don't know how good they did. They might have did good then, but I think it got away from everybody now with the cost of rent going up. Cost of living is crazy right now. I think everybody's just trying to get by, but you gotta pay attention.
Well, it's amazing what apartments are renting for in Milford.
20 years ago, that was cheaper. Now it's crazy.
Well, you start looking at rents in the $2,000 a month, and a lot of people just can't afford it.
Nope. So everybody's trying to live together, which I understand it, but you have bylaws and health codes that you have to go by too.
Is it the bylaws that's driving it, or is it safety?
I say safety. Because you can have a fire, you don't know who's in there.
Well, I'm more worried about the electric system.
Overcharging,
Well,
causing fires.
You got the 200 amp circuit feeding the house.
Yep.
Well, that's fine if you got one kitchen, but if you got 2 or 3 kitchens drawing on it,
That's not good.
you can overheat the wires and cause fires.
Yep.
How does the Board of Health help with that?
Inspections with the building department. Hold the landlords accountable maybe too.
Well, one of the questions that comes out that's controversial is, if you're doing inspections and you see that there's multiple families living in a house that's set up for one, should the Board of Health report them?
Yes. Report it to the right department to
Yeah.
go see, to make sure if it's right or not.
Well, that's always a hard thing because,
But I understand, like, people are trying to get by too. You try to be nice to everybody, you have to go by the law too sometimes.
yeah, and again, the question comes out, are you enforcing the law or are you taking care of people from a safety perspective?
Yep.
You know, because you feel sorry for people. I mean, back when you had the different waves of immigration coming in, you had many people, you know, there were families in Milford. I know the Portuguese were 10, 11 people in one family.
Yep.
And they would all get together, they would pay off the house and then buy another house, pay that one off, then buy another one. But for a period of time, there was overcrowding in one house when you've got 12, 13 people living in a single house.
That's true.
So you feel bad for them, but on the other hand, if it's 2 or 3 families splitting a house and having hot plates and, you know, heaters.
That's a safety hazard too.
So what do you do about it, though?
Better education.
I just wonder if that, you know, given the choice where you don't have enough money to pay the rent and
yeah.
get by,
Has to be ways you can look ways for them to do something.
what do you think the biggest responsibility of the Board of Health is?
Public safety.
In what way?
Get diseases, vaccines, shots. Make sure when there's the overcrowding issue, they can get diseases, all those people living together. One bathroom is not good for 5, 10, 20 people. That's not good. You can get diseases. Overthrow trash, causing the rodents to come, and insects, which they bring diseases with them too.
You mentioned vaccines. What's your opinion on vaccines?
Well, if you're healthy, I will say that's up to you if you want them or not. If you have stuff wrong, yeah, get one. Because I get them. I get my vaccines. I'm like, nope, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Well, years ago, we spent money to expand visiting nurse association visits because we saw for the first time tuberculosis come
Yeah, I
to Milford in
remember.
a long time.
Yep.
And that was controversial. Because I had people coming up to me saying we're spending money on immigrants when we should spend it on Milford people.
But they live here too, so you have to do what we have to do.
Well, that was my question is, when you say we should spend it on Milford people, as far as I know, we were all immigrants to this country.
Yes, we were.
You know, you had the Irish, followed by the Italians, followed by the Portuguese, followed by Brazilians,
And now everybody else is
now
here too.
Ecuadorians, Guatemalans.
They all came from we all came from somewhere.
And, you know, the thing that amazed me was tuberculosis. We hadn't seen it in decades. But now you're bringing in people from parts of the world where tuberculosis is still active.
Yep. And maybe they don't know they have it, and when they're coming, it's with them.
And then you turn around and say, if you don't take steps to address it, you can look at it and say, well, it's from the immigrants. But those immigrants are going to schools with our kids, our grandkids,
And everybody can get it.
and then everybody gets it. So in a way,
It's better be
I like
safe.
to believe that people were supporting that money for the right reason, that we want to take care of all Milford people. And Milford people being defined as somebody living in Milford.
That's
You know,
true.
because if I think about it, my grandfather came to Milford in '39, legally, but he was an immigrant, $32.80 in his pocket, came here, and it always amazes me that he came here and he would get to see his family once a year. Otherwise, he saved every penny he could to send back to my grandmother to
Yeah.
take care of her and 3 daughters. I mean, once a year, what a sacrifice.
To make it better for them.
I mean, I have a hard enough time. My youngest lives all the way in Boston, and I don't see her but every other week. And that seems like a long.
Yep,
My oldest lives a mile and a half away, so I see her 4 days a week.
that helps.
You know, but to turn around and say, I'm going to leave my family, go work like a dog,
And
get-
send it to them.
and send it to them, which is a great thing. But it's got to be tough.
Well, that's what a lot of them do. They work and send it home the way they came from.
So how do we use the resources we have to make sure that the immigrants are getting the medicine and vaccines that they need?
Education.
How so?
Talk to them. Show them what our laws are. Explain to them how you can do stuff differently, because their countries are different than ours. It's not like here, their countries. It's worse. And once they know, I think they'd be good. And they understand what to do and not to do. A lot of it's education, because they don't know when they come here, a lot of them. They just think they can do what they did where they came from. But we got our rules here we go by.
Do you think the latest deportation trend scares them?
Some. I think so. If you get in trouble, yeah, those are the ones that.
Well-
But I think it scares a lot of them.
Not the 1% that cause trouble.
The ones that are here doing it the right way.
Yeah, I
yes.
mean, let's face it, even residents, we have a police force way before we had immigrant crime.
Yep.
So, you know, you look and you say there's 1%, 2% of the immigrants coming to Milford that are causing problems. Well, there's 1 or 2% of the residents
That cause problems.
that
too.
cause problems.
Yep. It goes hand in hand everywhere.
But I can see that we had to pay nurses to go to the immigrants' homes and make sure they took the medicine for TB. Now it's got to be worse, I would think, because they're all scared that it's going to be ICE showing up at the door.
Yep. And they don't want nobody coming in, and they're gonna get sick, and that doesn't help either.
But what can you do? Can the Board of Health do anything to help that? You say education, but what kind of education?
Explain to them that it's okay. Get your shots. I know they're all afraid, but not everybody's out to get you. 'Cause
No.
they got to protect themselves too, and it protects everybody else around them.
Is overcrowding the biggest issue that people run into?
I believe so. That's what I hear. But a lot of, I believe, like we talked about, I believe because the cost of living now is crazy. I think a lot of it now is the cost of living. Everybody's trying to get by, live with each other, but that causes a lot of issues too.
Yeah, when you start getting crowded, you're just going to cause issues no matter what.
More overflow of trash, makes the neighborhoods don't look good.
What can the board do about trash?
Well, I like the new barrels they have. It does help. It keeps the little creatures out of it. Well, if you know. There still is overflow of trash. I do see it. Some people, I think, some of them maybe they don't get the education-wise. They just put it and they think they're going to pick it up, and they don't.
Well, we went through that because the first year the Board of Health came before the Finance Committee with the proposal to go to the current trash bins. We were very concerned that that had never been brought up to the town. The Board of Health just made the proposal, and they came to us on the Finance Committee to get funding I was pretty outspoken saying, this is a decision that should be discussed with the town.
Yeah.
The next year, though, we had 4 people, 4 companies, and one wouldn't even put in a bid
Nope.
unless they used the single containers. And the other 2, I remember Harvey came before us and said, we have to add $250,000 if you're staying away from our containers, which shocked me. I mean, we got enough expenses rising now.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of adding $250,000, they said, that'll only be for 1 year. The following year, we won't even bid, because instead of having 2 people on the garbage trucks, I think that's what they call them, the sanitation trucks.
Yeah, that's what
They can do it with 1.
One now, because they got the little flip that up.
And I was concerned because come graduation time, come Christmas,
More trash.
more trash, and you always worry, what do you do with the extra trash? But it seems to be working, I think.
It's working. Well, I've seen extra trash today, but we did have a big snowstorm we just had, so honestly, I think that's the reason. But it's been working. I haven't seen too bad. Everybody seems to get it all in the right barrel. There's ones here and there probably still don't.
Yeah, well, that whole barrel thing has got me confused because ever since China stopped taking our recycle, where they put the rule in that greater than 5% contamination, they reject a lot, nobody wants recycle anymore. So you find out that it's all piling up in the JHRV parking lots, and they're burning it anyway. So
Why recycling if they don't want it? It's like,
well, I'm torn because
I like it because you put everything you're supposed to put in the blue barrel, you put it in there. Everything else you throw in the other one.
and that's the thing. I mean, I'm torn because I walk up to throw my trash away, and I'm torn between, okay, do I throw it in the blue barrel where it belongs, which is supposedly good for the environment, knowing that they're going to burn it anyway, or do I throw it in the regular garbage gray barrel? Because it's a lot cheaper. I think it's like $70, $80 a ton in
For
the gray
them.
barrel and $130 in the.
Yeah, recycling's expensive, but we have to recycle.
But are we recycling?
That's the question.
You know, if they're going to burn it, then I'm torn.
Yep.
Because I want to do what's right for the environment.
Yep.
But to pay a huge premium just to pretend I'm recycling.
That doesn't make sense either.
But I could see it where we had a long-term contract for trash, a tipping fee, and we did not have it for recycle because they used to pay us for recycle. They used to take our newspapers and everything and pay us. Now all of a sudden we're paying 20, 30% more.
But everything's gone up.
So we always think of the trash. Are you familiar with the transfer station at all?
Yes.
What do you think of the transfer station?
It's good for all the other stuff that even though I do see stuff too like other people. People leave big furniture out there and they got the little stickers you're supposed to get to put on them. They will come and pick them up. Like they leave mattresses everywhere now.
You know, mattress is apparently the biggest problem.
Yeah, I guess the left place, well, we had a place in town. I used to take them, but.
Oh, we still do, but you got to pay $30 or whatever. But I was surprised at how many mattresses that we generate for disposal.
A lot. Because they change everything, but hey, that's the way it goes.
Why do we have a transfer station?
Well, you bring your, like oil, stuff like that down there to get rid of it. All your hazardous waste. Big furniture. We got the dump for the leaves, so that counts up there. Well, that's a good place for them.
Well, I always looked at it that we always had a transfer station. It was called Asylum Street
Yep.
because refrigerators, couches,
They dump them on the side of the road, and I'm sure they're still doing it.
well, not as much anymore because at least people with a conscience
Won't do it.
will take them to the transfer station, pay the $20 and be done.
Get rid of them. I remember when they're everywhere. In parking lots everywhere. Like, really? You can't just go bring it?
So, now there's little or no excuse because you got a place to take hazardous waste and
Yep.
televisions and computers and everything.
And they will take them.
And it's self-sufficient. I mean, we end up making a little bit of money to take
the
care of the
town.
maintenance on it.
Yep.
You talked about restaurants. What does the Board of Health have to do with restaurants?
Make sure everything's up to code, proper. Make sure all the refrigeration's working right. Because there has to be a certain temperature. Make sure the food is where it's supposed to be, not out uncovered all day. Make sure the floors are clean, everything's, so you don't want to attract those little friends that do come. Make sure stuff's neat in the freezers.
And the people are trained.
Yep. Don't do it with, put your gloves on,
I was amazed at
hair nets.
hearing that all the regulations that go into making our restaurants safe.
There's a lot.
How does the Board of Health enforce it?
Well, they inspect them once a month, I believe, right? Once
Or
a
at least
month.
a couple times a year.
They could do it more, but probably twice a year is fine. Because you go in the first time, if they got some issues, you can
Well, I think
make
it's-
sure they fix them and come
that's
back.
the point. If you go in and find something,
Let them fix it. Make sure they fix it.
they fix it.
And if they don't fix it, then you fine.
Then you go back and
I've seen it when I worked some of those. So make sure it's fixed. Make sure it's right the first time. Because you never know when they come either. But they can surprise you.
no, that's a good thing.
Yep.
What are the biggest problems that they run into?
Most probably if the food's kept out too long, if they aren't doing something right, make sure the machinery's all working properly. Refrigeration's the big one. Everything's clean, sanitized, no trash underneath tables. Sometimes it's hard, I understand. Like some of the restaurants, sometimes you're going so fast you don't have time to do anything, but you gotta make sure stuff's kept up.
Yeah, but that's kind of a weak argument. If your kitchen is so that busy, then you got the money to hire more people.
Yep, a lot of them don't. That's where they run into their issues.
Because I have a limited sense of humor about the people saying we're too busy to be sanitary.
And I go, I'll hire somebody.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't afford it. I'm like, well, you should have somebody just to come in to clean.
Well, all the other restaurants around you somehow
They
they're fine.
clean.
They clean.
They all have somebody to clean. I've done it, so I know.
What do you think the biggest issues that we're going to have to deal with on restaurants in Milford are going to be?
Making sure they stay healthy, clean. The food's at the right temperatures and everything like that. Sanitized. Make sure the employees are wearing their gloves and hair nets. That's basically. Make sure everything's up kept. I know we got plenty of restaurants, even the stores, because they even have to go and inspect the grocery stores too.
I was going to say, it's not just restaurants,
We got everything here.
you know.
You got to do the stores, like a Stop and Shop, Shaw's. They expect them too.
Yeah, you would hope so, because we all go to them for meat, for all kinds of food.
Since I did work one of those for a while, I do know you got to make sure it's clean. And you never know when they're coming, but I've seen it on both sides. They do make sure it's clean, because if it's not, they can get you. Town's a little more lenient on a lot of you, but if it's the company, they're tough. The state's the toughest. I've seen them in action too.
So how do you learn to be on the Board of Health? I mean, we had Paul Mazzucchelli, who was considered the newbie
Yep.
because he had only been on the Board of Health for 25 years. You know, Lenny, Kenny,
Rest their souls.
35, 40 years.
Have
A lot of history
a lot
there.
of history and a lot of knowledge there.
So you're stepping in for the first time. What do you do to learn?
Go to the meetings and listen to everything and take everything down, and you got an idea, tell your ideas to them and listen to their ideas and work together, be proactive. Don't go in there and jump and think you're going to get everything done. Things take time to be proactive. You got to work together, not against each other. And you make the town better in the long run.
Is the town supporting the Board of Health enough?
I believe so. Is there ways? There's probably always ways you can do more stuff if you have the money. But I think they do a very good job, the Board of Health. Well, all the restaurants, they're on top of everything when they find stuff too. So
When they find stuff, like if they're doing inspections of personal property, and they find what they think is overcrowding, should they report it?
yes, report to the right committees, boards. Then go back and make sure everything's corrected. Give them time to correct it too, before we do anything else.
What responsibility does the Board of Health have on individual homes?
If it's, how you put it, too much stuff in their homes, like they store too much stuff where you can't get through, that kind of stuff. They can do something there. Because there's been homes that people have too much stuff, you can't, it's like a fire hazard. You got stuff piled to the ceiling and everywhere. That's not good.
You see that on TV, homes that are just full of newspapers and
Well, I know some people that were like that, and that's a fire hazard, as you see it on the news a lot. You can't get in there and find them half the time to rescue them. There's too much clutter. They can help that way get somebody to take care of it too. But it's hard sometimes. People don't want to. People are set in their own ways. A lot of people.
when we start looking at some of the programs we have, are you familiar with the visiting nurse program?
Yeah.
What do you think?
They do a good job.
What do they do?
Well, they go to the houses, give for the elderly, or anybody that's have ailments, and give them medicine or vaccines, shots. They go in, they can clean a little bit. I don't know if they clean, but they can clean up a little bit for them. Throw their trash away, stuff like that. They do a good job. I'll give them a ride somewhere if they need it. I don't know if they do that, but
Well, they were heaven when my mother had her knee replaced, because they came in once a week and just checked on her.
yep. Check your blood pressure, stuff like
It would
that.
check the vitals, but it was just making sure, it made us feel better that we were doing the right things for her.
Yeah, making sure everything's going right. That's what they do.
And I think it's going to get tougher and tougher because the trend now is to send people home earlier.
Yep.
When my mom had her knees done, she was in rehab for a week and a half.
Then they send you out quick.
Now they want to do a day surgery.
Yep. Everything's
Or what?
changed. Oh, when I had my heart surgery, I had them come in, the visiting nurses. They came in for about a month and, all right, you're good enough. You're on your own. just to check the blood for the warfarin and everything. Make sure everything's there. You're doing good. I'm like, all right. But it's good to have them, though, because they're there if you need them.
Yeah, I had thought about that when I had my quaternary bypass. Became very friendly with nurses.
They're there for you if you need them. That's how I look at it.
You know, I had a family supporting me, so anything I needed, they took care of. You worry about some of these Milford residents where they don't have anybody left,
No,
and they're on their own.
that's where they come in perfect for them. There's a lot of people like that today. You know? I know some, they don't have nobody. But some people don't want nobody either. It's like, I don't know. I'd rather, they're there for you, take it. That helps.
Well, you worry when they say they don't want anybody. Is that really the case, or are they?
I think they just don't want to see reality.
Yeah.
You're better to have somebody to help you. It makes everything go better.
Any preference to what visiting nurses we should use?
No. They all do the job.
How do you think the Board of Health's going to be affected by the new budgets?
Gotta wait and see what happens, I believe, first. Then things need to be cut. We have to just play it by ear and do the best we be proactive with it. Just go by what we have to do. There's always ways to get stuff done, but it might hurt, but might not. 'Cause the budgets are supposed to get cut, I believe. So
Well, if you listen to the governor, they're just not being increased as much as they used to be.
you just have to deal with it.
I mean, the Chapter 70, the school budget,
That's
the
the
governor-
biggest one.
62% of our budget, she proposed a 0.6% increase. So technically, you're not cutting the budget.
No, you just aren't gonna give what you usually give.
But when you start thinking about inflation being 2 to 3%, you know, school especially, 80% of their budget is salary.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
when maybe layoffs might have to happen.
I hope so.
I don't like seeing that, though, because
I
you
hope
need
not.
the teachers.
Yeah, and people have come back and said, this year we have 200 less students than we did the past couple of years. But when you spread that out over 13 grades,
Yeah, that's still not.
you know, and you turn around and say, we had 28 kids in a classroom, now we have 26.
Nah, that's still.
You can't
You
fire a
can't-
teacher or
No,
reallocate 26 kids into other classes.
you still need the teacher.
You still need the same teacher, the same room, the same building.
Yep. You just have to maybe cut some of the other stuff.
Yeah, and the problem is the other stuff's, when you look at the police department, it was 94% of their budget was salary.
Yep.
And you turn around and say, what other stuff do you have? You have 6%. You know, you can't play Barney Fife and say, okay, we're not going to buy bullets for the police.
Now you're gonna need them.
We're not going to buy gas for their cars. We'll give you the cars, but we're not going to buy gas.
And you do need the police too. I'm sorry, we need them.
Well, I think that's been proven out over the country where they cut back on police force, and then was amazed that the crime rate went up.
Yep, because there was not enough police to deal with it.
Well, it wasn't fair. The bad guys should have cut back their crime.
No, they don't. They don't care. You're always going to have crime. It doesn't matter. Even little towns have it. You still need a decent force because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, it's like everything. You know, even people my age who don't have kids in school anymore. Well, I have grandkids in school, but even if you don't have grandkids, if you don't have a good school system, if you don't have a good health system, nobody wants to live in your town, so your property values go down.
Yep.
So it's going to affect everybody anyway.
It affects Milford too. But people move and people move in. There's always coming and going. That's the way it works.
But it's amazing when you start looking at, in my mind, houses in Milford going for $750,000 to $1 million.
Yep. I'm like, they're worth that much now? I'm like, wow.
When we were kids, you could have bought Milford for $1 million. They probably would have thrown in Hopedale and Mendon on top of it.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, you see these 4-bedroom homes, $750,000.
There's a lot of them right downtown too, that much. I'm like, wow. I never were that. I'm like, boy, times changed. And it's hard to rent a lot of them right now too.
Well, that's what drives the rental prices up. Because people can't afford the down payment and the mortgages.
Crazy.
So if you're elected, how are you going to affect the town of Milford?
I'll be proactive. I'll work with everybody and get education, get everything done, because everybody lives here. We all live here. We all should work together, make sure the town runs perfect for every citizen, because they're here too. You just got to educate them. That goes a long way. Yes, things won't get done overnight. Things take time. But I'd be for all Milford residents. Good mind, and just listen. Because a lot of the people that come here, they don't know what our laws are. If you educate them and teach them, I think things will go by a lot different.
Well, I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for the people who, like my grandfather, who came to Milford with $32 in his pocket, and the town of Milford made it so that he could survive, thrive, and send money back to his family. I have no sympathy for the people who come here and commit crime.
Me neither. There's ones that do it, and they make it look bad for the rest of them. They're trying to do it the good way.
Well, again, people pick up on the fact that undocumented alien created this crime, committed this crime. But when you look at the overall rate, my understanding is it's no better, no worse
And us.
than residents.
Nope. You get your good and bad in everybody. It happens. They just make the others look bad, which they aren't all bad.
No, I mean, most, 90-some% of the people come here, put their heads down, work, pay taxes.
Yep. And they do everything good. And they're good neighbors.
Follow the health codes. What more could you ask?
Nothing. But one gets in trouble, they're all like, oh, I'm like, It's more to it. I've seen people, I know people that came here that did everything by the book. Good people that work hard for their families. And they're good neighbors, too.
I think we've covered everything. Anything you want to say to the people in Milford?
I'll be, for every resident in the town, if you vote for me on April 7th, I will do the best as I can. We got to work all together to get stuff done.
That's all you can ask.
Yep.
Well, again, you're going to meet 3 people who are all putting their hat in the ring for the Board of Health, which in a way is it's a very good thing to have different views. You'll have 3 different people with 3 different mindsets, all putting their hat in the ring saying, put me in, coach, I can help. Makes me feel better because I start getting scared when I see school committee with no people except the incumbents. Not that the incumbents are doing a bad job or a good job, it's just you want competition. So thank you for running.
Thank you, Al, for inviting
And
me.
to our 6 loyal viewers, thank you for watching the show. Good night, God bless, and may tomorrow be a better night than tonight. I'll never ask you to vote for a specific candidate, but every chance I'll get, I'll beg you to get out and vote. Come April, please vote. We had less than 10% of the turnout. That's sad. It really is sad, because then we complain that people aren't getting what they want, but if they're not willing to at least spend 20 minutes a year voting for the people that they think express their views, it's kind of hard to make change. So good night all. Thanks.